What's up, everyone? Cinephile Mike here, and it is day 71 of Oscar Rewind, my bi-weekly series of video commentary that reflect the work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. I've been digging deep into those IMDb profiles, and my hope is that you will discover a new, older favorite, or maybe revisit something you haven't seen in a while. As always, I'll be discussing the recent Oscar connection, awards history for the film, box office information, critical response, and as always, most importantly, these reviews are spoiler-free. Now, before we jump in, do me a favor and click that subscribe button, because you definitely want to be a part of all the cinematic goodness coming your way. So, we are here. It is the last month of Rewind, and to close out this season, I am talking about the remaining winners from this past year's Oscars. Moving forward, today I am discussing the Netflix original documentary, Disclosure. Directed by Sam Feder, after premiering at the Sundance Film Festival in January of 2020, the film was released on Netflix in June of that year. Being a Netflix film, like most, I'm sorry, my box office pundits, I have no information to share with you. But for my Rotten Tomatoes fans, yes, this film currently sits with a 98% critical rating from 59 reviews and an 86% popcorn meter cult from over 100 audience reviews. Award season-wise, this film was named the Outstanding Documentary at the GLAAD Media Awards. It had an IDA nod for Best Editing, 2 Dorian Film wins, tying with Welcome to Chechnya for both LGBTQ Documentary of the Year as well as Documentary of the Year. It was a nominee for Next Big Thing at the Queerties and several other nods and wins from different film festivals and critic circles. So why is this documentary on Rewind? It is for Lisa Remington, one of the co-producers of the film. Lisa has produced over 36 films, short films, and TV series in her career thus far, and this past year, on her first Oscar nod, she won, serving as one of the producers on the Oscar-winning documentary short, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. So, what is Disclosure about? It's a reflection on the representation of the trans community in media throughout the last just over a century in television and film. We're shown clips ranging from D.W. Griffith's problematic 1915, The Birth of a Nation, to the groundbreaking 2018 series Pose, and everything in between. The documentary doesn't just focus on film and TV narratives, it also includes moments from talk shows like Oprah, Katie, and Jerry Springer, showing how trans people have been portrayed across all corners of media. The presence of trans individuals in media is nothing new, but Disclosure explores, how that presence has been used. And unfortunately, many portrayals have, leaned negative, perpetuating fear and misunderstanding rather than empathy and understanding. The film examines ever-beloved and Oscar-winning works like The Silence of the Lambs from 1991, 1999's Boys Don't Cry, 2013's Dallas Buyers Club, amongst so many others, noting how their depictions, though often well-intentioned, contributed to damaging stereotypes or misrepresentations. Director Sam Feder brings together over 30 voices, including one of the film's co-producers, Laverne Cox, Chaz Bono, Jen Richards, Lilly Wachowski, Brian Michael Smith, Leo Shang, and Elliot Fletcher. And, they share their personal experiences of transitioning and reflect on the media images that shaped their understanding of themselves. And the film isn't about assigning blame. Several participants actually acknowledge their appreciation for certain works while still critiquing those flaws and how when they were younger and saw them, there's one interesting, personal story about Ace Ventura, a film that gave one of the subjects of the documentary so much joy as a child, but then when they were going through their transitioning experience and revisited the film as adults, it was kind of shattered. There's another instance where they talked about the L Word, the TV show, their introduction of a trans man, how groundbreaking it was, yet ultimately that show also framed the character in an unflattering light after a certain point. It's a really powerful documentary that urges us to support more authentic representation so that trans stories told by trans people become normalized rather than exceptional. Shows like Pose are highlighted as examples of genuine progress, centering trans voices and experiences rather than relegating them to the margins or casting cis actors in trans roles. It's really engaging and eye-opening in the documentary genre. Like many viewers, I realize too, I'm not innocent here. I've laughed at some of those harmful stereotypes simply because that was, present in popular media, especially when I was younger and didn't fully understand. Right? Sitcoms and sketch shows In Living Color, Married with Children, The Jeffersons, Bosom Buddies, to thrillers that, had these trans-coded characters that were depicted as killers. The film Disclosure, they talk about Psycho, Dressed to Kill, again, Silence of the Lambs. These portrayals have shaped cultural perception in ways that we rarely stop to question, and Disclosure challenges us to do just that. Rethink the images that we are looking at and, hope for more authentic, humanizing representation. The interviews are powerful, the clips are really illuminating and well done, and while there are some moments of that are deeply cringeworthy to revisit, the film really succeeds in making you think. It's educational and it's deeply affecting. Lisa Remington, look, she clearly signed on to a solid project here. And, as is representative of much of the work she's done, she's really interested in sharing these powerful stories through the documentary medium. For me, Disclosure is a strong 4-star documentary that will definitely provide some thought-provoking moments. And, let's hopefully move that conversation forward. If you would like to watch Disclosure, as you probably gleaned from what I said at the beginning, it is streaming exclusively on Netflix. All right. So there we are. We are moving right along with the winners. When you join me this Friday, I will be looking at another film by Lisa's co-producer on The Only Girl in the Orchestra. So another documentary. And it's very fitting because this week I am beginning to cover Doc NYC, it's the biggest documentary film festival in the country. So there's a lot of great content coming out of there that you want to check out. So in addition to that, and this, as always, if you like what you heard here, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. Click that button, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, drop me comments, add to the conversation. There's so much going on. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms, on Letterboxd, Instagram, Twitter. Find me on all of them. And as always, check out great content on my website, cinephilemike.com, including a lot of Oscar and BAFTA qualifying shorts that have come out of the Holly Shorts Festival in London. I have Doc NYC coverage coming. There's Woodstock Film Festival coverage. So a lot of that Oscar stuff that I'm getting ready to really delve into, you can find a lot of it right there on my website. All right. Yes, this was a little bit of a shorter one, but I didn't want to really spoil too much of this documentary. Check it out. As always, happy watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.